People, I'd say hardly I had more than 5 people at a time. Muhammad tried to get his group together, 20, 30, 20, 15 people, 50 people together. It's very difficult because you find people who are a little bit different pace, someone of them at a faster pace, but he tries to get them all together. Brother Hassan, how did you guys do it? How do you get together? You
A Farewell Tawaaf or the first one?
I mean, he's asking you the question. Let him ask you the question.
What's the question? Sorry.
How many people you do make tawaf?
Now, how many people you have, like as a group you do all these events, or?
So the first Tawaaf, for the Umrah, we would do it together. Imam Muhammad would lead the group and he had a stick, and we all follow the stick.
So he will just, if somebody is not in the group, oh, okay.
But we have 38 people in the group, and so inshallah ta'ala we all follow sticks. Some of us of course can do the Umrah ourselves, so they won't follow, but as much as Imam Muhammad and I will try to have the group together, and there's a stick that will see going around. It's all done throughout. And most of the Hajj activities are together, but by the time you get to the Tawaf on the day of Eid, you know what to do. So at that time, you have flexibility of changing it. But some people are tired. Some people want to go to the hotel first. Some people want to just get it done with and go. So we give that flexibility. The first time you'll do any activity will be with us. So.
But really, only Allah knows, really. I mean, that's my yes.
So on the 11th, 12th, besides stoning, is there anything else?
Nothing. Staying the night in Mina. And during the day, after Dhuhr, basically you're staying, you're praying and staying in the tent of Mina. After Dhuhr, you basically try to proceed and do the stoning. And you could stay the day, and after you do the stoning, you could go and stay in the hotel if you would on the morning of the 11th, but the 12th. But at night you have to come and stay where? In Mina. The following day you do the stoning, and as a matter of fact, you could proceed if you've done the on the 12th. So you do the stoning on the 11th and the 12th. If you make tahajjud, you basically leave Mina before Maghrib prayer and you're done. We'll talk a little bit more about logistics later, but that's what it's required, that you stay the night in Mina, and the stoning has to be done pretty much at Zawad, shortly before the Dhuhr, if you will.
So the stoning is 2 days, 1 day?
Or 3.
Yes.
Yeah, or 3. The 2 is called tahajjud, the 3 is complete. Yes?
Did you say the stoning, when can it start on a given day?
Pretty much after Zawal, meaning, let's say Dhuhr prayer. Shortly, a little bit after Dhuhr prayer.
Okay, that's when it starts.
Zawal al-Shamsi, basically, the sun just a little bit tilts. So you could stage it. Some people want to wait until way after Dhuhr because it may be too crowded at Dhuhr.
Sure.
They want to wait until Asr. Between Asr and Maghrib, it becomes easier. Because of Dhuhr, people would be rushing in. So you could wait until Asr and then move shortly after Asr, shortly before Asr and go there. Some people want to go together, even before the Dhuhr and go with the crowd. Everyone would stage it differently.
So based on what I heard, if you're unable to leave for any reason before Maghrib, you have to stay one more night.
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
it's
If you could not leave Mina proper on the 12th before Maghrib, before sunset, yes, you have to stay. You have to stay.
So
Question?
those duas you were talking about, like if you are in Iran, you make a dua that Allah, if I cannot, for some reason, if I have to get out of the Ihram, do you have to make that dua?
No.
Okay.
No. This is not a dua, it is a condition in your contract.
Okay, it's a condition.
It's a condition. So you don't have to say it at all.
Oh, okay.
But it's
So you don't have
definitely a
to say
condition
it.
that is encouraged in case something should happen. Let's say you're putting a condition in the contract with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma hilli hayra hadasan. Yes?
So you have if you end up somewhere after Maghrib, you don't have to stone.
You have to do.
Oh,
Yeah. So on the 12th, if you could not get out of Mina proper before Maghrib, you stay the night of the 12th. On the 13th, after Dhuhr, you do stoning and then you're
Even
done.
if you have done your stoning on the first time.
You've done it on the 11th and the 12th.
Right.
And now you could not get out of the 12th. You've done the stoning, say, after Maghrib. Khalas, you're stuck. You have to go back to Mina and stay the night of the 12th. On the 13th, you do the stoning and you go back
So
to
you
Mina.
have to do the first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're doing stoning for 3 days. It's called complete. The hastening is the 11th and the 12th. So 95% of people just in the first
But
question.
we also stone the big jamarat on the 10th.
On the 10th, only the big
The big
jump,
jump.
only one of them. On the 11th, 12th, and possibly the 13th, all three of them, making takbirah with each one of them.
And on 10th, you have to do it before the.
No, oh, you have to do it on the 20th after Fajr. On the 10th after
Like
Fajr.
11th, 12th, and 13th after
After-
Dhuhr,
yes.
before Maghrib.
Yes, preferably. Ideal time, yes.
Is the Raleigh group staying for the 13th?
If the Raleigh group, are they staying for the 13th? He says no.
We'll come back on 12.
On the 13th, that's when you're meeting on the 29th. They're probably, I'd say 95% of people are going to do the 11th and the 12th. On the 13th, you're probably going to do Tawaf al-Wada' and you're going to get out of town. Let me do Tawaf al-Wada'. Tawaf al-Wada' is basically needs to be the last duty, last thing you do before you leave Mecca. You should do all of your shoppings, all of your duties, whatever you do. You have to do it before. This should be needs to be the last duty, except if you're trying to buy some things for your trip. You need to buy some water for your trip. But whatever shopping, whatever things you need to do, this really needs to be your last duty. يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يكن آخر عهدك بالبيت العتيق. That's the last thing that you do is basically making a tawaf around the old house, which is meaning the Kaaba. So you do tawaf 7 times. You have to be again in a state of tahara. After you finish 7 times, you only make dua between الركن اليماني and الحجر الأسود. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Once you do 7 times, you pray 2 rak'ah behind the station of Ibrahim, and there is no sa'i in here. That's the last stage. They normally stage this about 12 hours before your plane departure, because they're going to do what? Take you in buses and move you into the plane and do the process of baggage and ticketing and so on and so forth. So this is basically the last thing that you need to do before you leave Mecca. Questions? Yes.
If there is time, can you go and pray, like if any salah comes in from
Some people say it, yes, you could pray.
After
You could
the
pray, but you
Tawaf
need, no, but don't do shopping and going around and sightseeing, and if they are still holding you for another 10 hours, well, Salat al-Dhuhr is cold, I'm going to go and pray Dhuhr. Yes?
If the Iqamah is called while you're go up, you just go ahead and pray and then start again?
You did not come last week, did you?
I was here last
Yeah.
You were here? Did we discuss that last week?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so when you do tawaf, if you are doing tawaf, you're talking about tawaf al-qudum, or tawaf al-ifada, or tawaf al-wada', your obligation is to do what? Is to finish tawaf. The only thing that stops you, what? Salat al-fard, only. Salat al-fard, Salat al-fard. So even if they are playing sunnah, you are not stopping. You are doing what? You're continuing, right? We said that, didn't we? I thought I did. So you keep on making tawaf until you are stopped or the iqamah is called. Once the iqamah is called, you say Allahu Akbar and you pray with them, whatever, Dhuhr or Asr or Maghrib. The only thing that stops you is the obligatory prayers. They say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. You stand up, if there is space, and you continue finishing what? Your tawaf or sa'i. The only thing that stops you is what? Is obligatory prayers. Nothing else. You finish your obligation of tawaf and sa'i, and then after that you could sit and pray and do nafil, read Quran, and make khatim, make dua, whatever you want to do. But you have to finish your obligation toward Allah. Yes?
No ihram needed or anything, right?
No ihram needed?
For the tawaf?
No, no ihram is needed. No ihram is needed. Even tawaf, the ifada and sa'i is no ihram needed, no ittiba, no. But I'm saying don't waste time. I mean, you could, if you've done your stoning, the hadi, and you could trim and cut and shorten your hair, but I would finish tawaf and sa'i before I waste. Don't waste time. Don't waste time. Yes.
If you are making additional umrah,
Yes.
you have to go to Miqat and then come back from there.
Properly, yes.
Okay, and the closest Miqat is like 35 kilometers or 75 kilometers.
Where did you get the 75
I was
kilometers?
looking at the map on the internet.
This is who was here last time? Tell
I
me.
was here and
Yeah, we discussed it, brother. How old are you, man? Come on, you've not forgotten that much. So properly to do Umrah, you have to go to the miqat. And the closest miqat would be Al-Juhfa, which is quite a bit of a distance, really. Yeah. So, but the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ allowed Aisha at the time, called and Aisha. We've discussed this, didn't we?
Yes.
We said it. We're going to say it again. Is what? Yes. It is allowed for women, basically, who basically said, "يرجع الناس يا رسول الله بحج وعمرة وأنا أعود بحج." Everyone comes with Hajj and Umrah, and I come only with Hajj. What's the deal? He said, "فَذَهَبِي مَعَ أَخِيكِ." Go with Abdul Rahman, your brother. And he went to Kharij al-Haram. Kharij al-Haram, outside the Haram area. Basically, now it's called the Tan'im, or they call it Masjid Aisha. So she went there, put her Haram, make the niyyah, and she came in and did Umrah. So that is permissible. On of the school, that is permissible for women and menses. Now, men uses it just the same, which they could, I guess. So some people make 14 Umrahs in one Hajj. They keep on going. When you have 3 million people and you have like 500,000 also going back and forth, it's clogs, everything. And it is really, I mean, some scholar says it is permissible. I am of the school of you really have to do it properly, from the proper miqats, not of these exceptional miqats for women who are on menses or on periods. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes?
Okay, so if a woman is on her cycle
Yes.
during the Hajj days,
Okay.
and she finishes it and does tawaf for Ifada,
Yes.
but it's very close to leaving the flag.
And she could
The
not
long-
make tawaf al-wada'i.
Right, can it be for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That is again, some scholar says if she have done at least tawaf al-ifada, she could not do tawaf al-wada', his group is fine. That's true. Question?
Quick last question. So on the day of 10th, right, if you did the tawaf and say in the morning,
Yes.
before 11 o'clock, you said,
Yes.
can we